This is going to be a fun episode. Want to know why?
Like games.
We are doing a game today.
Woo!
Oh, well, we're kind of doing a game. It's not it's not technically a game. I guess it's kind of a game. Like, it's not like a board game.
Oh.
We're not rolling dice.
It's a happy game.
There's no playing cards. Nah, not really. Not really a happy game either.
What do you think's better than a board game?
Because board games are
boring.
Of course they are. No, I've got some good stuff lined up. I've got some good stuff lined up today. I wanted to make this a happy, fun, jovial podcast. Not a dwell on anything. Life's ending. No one frozen in the top of a mountain. No one getting their asshole eaten out by a great white. Nothing crazy like that.
Yeah.
But I did want to say, and I actually told you yesterday, and just for the rest of our audience, I had a chance to hang out with the lovely Erica from the TLE podcast, and of course she works for HR. We met up in Chicago at a cigar lounge, and I had so much fun. It was the most enjoyable experience. And I was thinking about it when I was there, and I was like, if someone just had a device to hit record and captured everything that we talked about and just like the ridiculous stuff,
yeah,
I was like, that would have made a great podcast in and of itself. So I had a wonderful time. It was fantastic. One of my favorite cigar shops ever. Always have a fun time hanging out there. They always hook it up. It was great. So much fun. So I'll definitely be looking to do that again. I wish you were there.
So envious.
You would have had a blast. It was a wonderful time. So that was my quick shout out to Erica because we had a great time. This first story.
Mm-hmm.
3 Indiana judges suspended after attempted strip club visit turned into a White Castle brawl. There's a lot.
3 Indiana Joneses
They're
arrested.
Yes. There is a lot in just the title snippet.
Yeah, there's a lot of incriminating things.
So so this is an article, and it's articles like this that when I read the headlines, I just go, I must know more.
Yeah,
I must know more. And here's the thing. Most of these articles that I go through are things that I hear about, throughout the week, or if I'm looking to bring something on to the podcast because of its ridiculousness, I read through everything, right? So I get the understanding of like everything that's going on, and it's titles like this that capture my attention and my imagination.
Just lay it on.
And I go, what happened? What could have possibly happened?
I want a mouthful.
The crazy thing is it really is what it says it is. So there was 3 judges that were at a convention in, there's actually technically 4 of them. And this was in Indianapolis, I believe. It was later in the night. They were looking to let off some steam, looking to just kind of get rowdy.
Let off some steam, huh?
And one thing led to another. They end up at a White Castle. Now it's 2 guys, 1 girl. And as they were at White Castle...
2 judges, 1 girl.
2 judges, 1 girl. As they were at White Castle, the female, and her last name is Bell.
Ginger.
I forget her Sabrina Bell.
Oh, even worse.
She walks outside, and as she walks outside, I believe she was with one of the other males. I can't remember. But when she walks outside, there is somebody who passes by them in a vehicle who yells at them.
Okay.
So her reaction to the yelling. Now think about the escalation path here. This is what I really want to make mention of, is how things escalate. They go from 0 to 100 in literally no time. They pass by them on the road and yell at them, just being stupid assholes.
Sure.
People do it all the time. She decides to flip them off.
Okay.
Which then elevates to the other side of it, and they start firing back. And through that firing back, the 2 male judges that she was with, Andrew Adams and Bradley Jacobs, decide to get in a verbal conflict with these 2 gentlemen who are in this vehicle.
Okay.
As they are both verbally spouting at each other, the men stop, they get out of the vehicle, and then a brawl a brawl ensues. So then they start fighting each other in the middle of this White Castle parking lot, but it doesn't end there. Could you imagine how much further this could potentially escalate?
I don't know, but I'm already loving the judge vigilanteism.
Yeah, so the judges decide to conduct themselves not in accordance to the law.
I am the law.
when you're a drunk judge, it's all there's nothing on the table anymore in terms of abiding by any sort of law that has been set forth.
It's just like, yeah, you fucking bitch. Like, look at this fucking cunt. Like, look at these two fucking guys. What are they gonna do? It's like, oh Lord, oh Lord. You are guilty of being a motherfucker, asshole! And just like start fucking brawling.
It would be awesome if they used a lot of lawyer puns.
That's what I'm
as they're
saying.
beating their ass. You are going to get a fist of justice. Let my gavel rain down on your forehead.
You will not forgive me. This will be a life sentence of an ass whooping, boy.
You've been found guilty of being a fucking dick.
Were they older or younger judges?
They were younger. Here's the picture of them. So they're not, well, there's like 40s, one older guy. Maybe but 40s. Yeah, I'm going to go with the collective average age of 42. Yeah. But yeah, so they got into a physical brawl with these two gentlemen. And one of the guys decides to pull out a gun and shoots two of the male judges. Shoots one in the stomach once and then shoots the other guy in the chest twice. And somehow, miraculously, both of them lived.
22s.
Definitely 22s, probably.
Or,
actually, it was probably something that Pierce went straight through.
And maybe I'm just reading into this too much. But as far as I'm concerned, judges are supposedly.
We've been through this.
I know. Supposedly superheroes.
Interesting.
The way
Is it because they wear capes?
Yes. And black. Like they're fucking night vigilant. They're like the Batman of the courtroom. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Of course. Well, I will say this. These are the two gentlemen that beat the shit out of him, and then this is the guy who shot him. This guy had recently, this is his uncle. So it is a guy named Brandon Kaiser and Alfredo Vasquez were just having a fun night on the town, celebrating Vasquez's new employment as a mechanic to this auto shop. And this is how kind of one thing led to another. Of course, Vasquez, look at the guy. Of course he had a gun on him.
I don't trust a man who's named after a sauce.
Yeah, that's true. I could not agree more.
And he's as white as Alfredo, which is contradictory to his heritage name.
He is definitely white as a ghost. But yeah, so he shot the one guy in the stomach, shot the other guy in the chest.
Yeah.
A couple boom.
Didn't phase the judge though, right?
Nope.
Just bounced off.
Just ricocheted bullets.
Yeah.
But so yeah, two of the judges were critical condition in the hospital, but both lived. The female, of course, in her statement to the collective judge community and to the public in general was expressive of how embarrassed she was that, she took the first steps of instigating and
which I don't think a finger is truly instigating.
No, because I was thinking about it. I was drawing upon experiences that I've had.
I've flipped off
pretty
people
much every day in my life, and I'm like, I do that almost every day.
What's one expression just to tell someone to fuck off passively? It's the middle finger.
Yeah, I think it's when they chose to engage beyond that and then of course it escalated, beyond there. But every judge said, expressed how embarrassed they were and the remorse they had for their actions and so on. They have been temporarily suspended. One of the judges got an assault charge, but he only spent 2 days in jail. But these other guys, of course, are going to spend much more time because I feel like it's like cops, judges probably stay together.
Yeah.
If like these guys beat the shit out of a couple judges and then shoot them, like there's not a judge
like Bad Boys.
There's not a judge anywhere who's gonna go. Yeah, you're the other judges are gonna get the least harsh penalty. The people who had shot him are gonna get the most intensive.
Yeah, dude, it's like Bad Boys. Court rule together, we die together.
Yep, Bad Boys for life. Isn't that kind of a crazy story, though? Like, I could just imagine being there as, like, a bystander or someone just, like, munching on my waffle fries and a couple sliders inside and just watching this all go down. And it probably happened in a matter of, probably 2 minutes?
God, think of the fucking White Castle hangover after that, too.
Oh, yeah. Especially if you take a bullet to the gut.
Listen, you take a bullet to the gut and you start oozing, like, fried, greasy shit. And then you just have the fucking wompies of goddamn diarrhea while you're sitting in that hospital bed.
Maybe, though, but maybe, just maybe, the White Castle saved their life.
It could be. They could have had a Bible.
If White Castle clogs your arteries, it's hard to bleed out of them.
Do judges carry Bibles on them?
I don't
Like priests?
believe so. I don't believe so.
I feel like they do.
Are all judges religious too? Because they always do say
Well,
hand your hold to the Bible, right?
The court has a sprinkle of religion.
Yeah, which is kind of weird because the whole separation of church and state.
Yeah.
But do you actually put your left hand on the Bible? Is it a Bible or is it a judge Bible?
I think it's I don't know. I think it's the Bible.
It's 2019. We should reconsider what book
Is
we
it
put
the
our
right
hands on.
hand?
I think it's a left hand.
Maybe
left hand.
Maybe you pick the hand that you predominantly use.
Yeah.
I'm a lefty.
What if you use both hands?
Yeah. Can I hold it with both hands? I'm doubly being truthful.
That'd be weird. What if you had no hands at all?
Ooh.
What if you just had two legs?
Yeah.
Could you imagine
I feel
sitting in a chair and just like...
Can I put my foot on it? I feel like...
Could you please raise...
But in the eyes of the Lord, putting two hands on it is like a double dare. Like, don't you
true.
fucking lie now. You got both hands on the Bible.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's good, but yeah, you can't. There's no going...
Do you do solemnly swear to tell the truth,
You're
the
really
whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Your Honor, I'll do it with both hands.
Yeah. You're swearing yourself
Hand
for a
on Bible.
lifetime
Yeah.
at that point. Yeah, I thought that story was funny. And it's really the only one I'm going to be bringing up because you were correct in the fact that there is a game to be played.
Oh, I love games.
But you cannot look at my computer screen,
I
so
won't
you
look.
must look forward.
I won't. I like surprises. Keep going.
This was perhaps one of the most popular segments of the podcast for a considerable amount of time, and we've got away from it recently. And I figured this would be a good day, a good Saturday to bring this back.
Okay.
And would you know it?
I'm ready.
It's a would you rather.
Ooh, would you rather? Okay.
Oh, would you rathers are really fun.
Okay.
So I've got a first would you rather. Would you rather poop out 400,000 gallons of Hellman's mayonnaise or one shuriken, which is a Japanese throwing star?
Ooh. 100,000 gallons
400,000 gallons
of mayonnaise.
Mm-hmm.
Oof. In one sitting?
No, just over the course of your life.
Oh. Listen, it's not going to look good, obviously. Having white stuff come out my bum, because it's going to look like I'm into some serious ass play in the LGBTQ community.
This is true.
However, I do it in the comfort of my own toilet.
Right.
So, sure, if you walk in on me, it's going to look like a giant bird shit in the toilet.
Here's the problem, though. 400,000 gallons, which means you would be shitting an insane amount through the course of the rest of your life.
Now, I like mayonnaise. So, is it still edible? Like, edible, you think?
What do you mean?
Like, is it just straight mayonnaise that's just coming out of my ass? It's not like it went through my digestive system?
Oh, no, it's gone through your digestive system.
Oh, okay. Because if it was edible, just treat me like a fucking condiment bottle. You need some mayonnaise on your hamburger?
I can see you touring ballparks around the country.
Oh, dude, I make a killing. Like, I still got another 390,000 gallons of it.
Just have your legs propped up and just poke your butthole just to get a little mayonnaise.
2 squats or just one for your mayonnaise on your patty. Or a shuriken, which would do significant damage to my intestinal lining.
Yes, it would.
Probably.
But you'd only have to endure it one time.
Yeah, but I could likely die too.
It's a good thought.
Listen, as much as I would say for the course of my lifetime, I wouldn't want to be basically pooping like a bird does in extremes amounts.
Right.
You know? I think I would go with the mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise guy?
Yeah.
All right, that's fair.
The damage, the pain, like, think about it. It's soft. Think about you don't have to worry about constipation anymore. It's like
very oily.
It's very oily. It's gonna slide right out.
It's true.
And even if it gets on your butt,
It's a good point.
You know, it's whatever. It's white. It's not poop brown or.
Yeah.
Now
it's a great point.
It's gonna splatter the water a bit. There's no doubt about that. You're gonna get a little bum water on you, but it's mayonnaise. It's gonna be an easy poop.
Yeah. There you go.
Easy poop.
All right, there you have it. Mayonnaise over the shuriken. Next one. Would you rather sleep with the hottest woman you know who is freshly dead or the ugliest woman that's still alive and kicking?
This comes all down to quality of sex, right? Now, for me...
Does it?
Yeah. Listen. Sure, she ain't great to look at, but I can sure as fuck close my eyes. The problem with the other one is she's permanently got her eyes closed, and she ain't going to move. And I think the idea is that sex should be consensual. It should be an act or a team effort, right?
Right.
Of self and co-arousal, right?
Okay. Yeah.
The problem is just picking up a dead woman's hand and then wrapping that hand around my dick and pretending like she's doing something to me isn't really going to get me off.
Right.
Right?
So you need something that's got some fresh blood in it.
Listen, if I stick it in, she ain't going to be wet anymore.
That's true.
So what do I got to do as a weirdo? Spit on my dick. And you know what? I don't like the idea of spitting on my dick. But guess what? You got an ugly ass broad. Chances are she hadn't had sex in a while. She is going to be a fucking water faucet down there. And it's going to be fun. Just keep your eyes closed. And if she even has this terrible voice like a, this is the best thing ever. Like, even if she has the fucking dumbest, nastiest ass voice as well, plug in some goddamn ear pods and enjoy some of your favorite tunes that get you off. Maybe some Barry Manilow. Maybe some Barry White. Maybe some nice soft love tunes, you know. Maybe a Frank Sinatra. But I can deal with that. Like,
I don't hate it.
Just, like, I don't want to know what you look like, what you sound like, and what you feel like outside of your vagina. So I don't want to feel flabby skin, so just straight dick to vagina.
Straight.
Nothing else. I don't want to touch the rest of you.
Straight D to the V.
But at least I know you're going to be like a goddamn waterfall down there. And I won't need lube. I'll probably get off eventually. And that'd be it. And then I'd be like, see ya. This has been fun. It'd be a one-night stand.
Yeah. All right. I don't hate that answer.
Yeah.
You went a little further with it, the explanation than I think was intended or needed. But
sure.
Next one. Would you rather piss broken glass or shit out razor blades?
Ooh. Piss out glass or shit out razor blades?
Piss out broken glass,
Ooh.
to be clear.
So it's like the worst.
It's very jagged.
The worst
rigid.
imaginable, like, kidney stones ever.
Pretty much.
Oof. Or shit out razor blades?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, I like my wiener.
This is the toughie.
I like my wiener.
Yeah, but you neglect that asshole, don't you?
Yep.
Yep. That's your problem.
Yeah. I tried sticking a finger in. It's just not for me. I think I'd shit razor blades.
Would
I really
you?
do.
Okay.
Yeah, the penis thing. I pee more than I shit. Okay?
Right.
I pee more than I shit. So I'm just thinking about...
By the way, you only have to do this one time.
Oh.
Not for the rest of your life.
Oh. Okay.
Right. You endure this pain only once.
Poor urethra. Or poor butthole.
I would say as somebody who's had kidney stones and has been through it,
You wouldn't want that, wish that on the world?
I wouldn't. But I also have to imagine that shitting razor blades
Is worse.
is gotta be worse.
Well, you're my testimonial then.
Yeah, this is a tough one for me,
Like, if this
honestly.
was like a review on Amazon for a product I was about to buy, and be like, yeah, I would choose the glass in the pee hole, I'd be like, sold.
Yeah, I think, you know what? It's a tough one for me because I've experienced one, not
And
glass,
tried the other.
and only tried the other one once unsuccessfully. I would say that I would likely try to endure the broken glass in the pee hole.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just, I don't know. I feel like there's a better ability to recover from that than you would with,
Tearing up your intestinal lining.
right. I think it's much
I
much
think you
more
can-
harsh on the system.
Yeah, I think you can pass the glass a lot easier.
Yeah. That's my thought and theory as well.
Yeah, because you got fluids around it, and you're kind of pushing it out. All right, it's going to scrape up. You're going to do some cut-ups.
Right. Would you rather put a toothpick in your big toe and kick the wall, or a nail file in your mouth and you have to have someone pull it out as hard as possible?
Nail file in the mouth and pull it out as hard as possible. And you know the reason is I have a severe...
This was an easy one for you. This was like this was a very definitive answer.
It didn't even matter what that second answer was. Because the minute you said toothpick in the foot, kicking it into the wall,
all right,
I don't do foot pain, bro.
Yeah, you were out immediately.
Yeah, I don't like foot pain.
Like, this is a no-fly zone, no-go.
There's been two
abort.
There's been two examples in my life that has scarred me when it comes to foot pain. Not that it's the pain per se.
Right.
It's just the experience overall. Number one, I was playing stickball in our neighborhood. I was about the age of 10 or 11, right? We were playing stickball with a thin stick and tennis balls and hit them into the street. Well, we had hit enough of them into the street, either lost other ones or whatever. But the last tennis ball we had managed to go down a sewer grate.
I remember this like it was yesterday.
So we, as a collective body of people playing stickball, was like, we don't want the party to end. It's time to go get one of these balls. Definitively, the last one that we knew where it was the one that went into the sewer drain. So we got a crowbar. We came back, and we lifted up the sewer grate, allowing one of the other kids to go down into, his name was Bobby, bright redhead.
Yeah, I remember him.
Went down into the sewer and retrieved the ball. As he comes up, he's like, got it! BB, funny enough, who lived up the street from us, was also playing stickball with us. He was the one holding the sewer grate. Well, as Bobby comes out of the sewer with the ball saying, got it, BB decides to drop the sewer grate back down into place on the sewer. When he did so, that sewer grate fell right on Bobby's foot. And they weigh a lot. And I mean a lot.
Yeah.
Like, they're giant things of steel.
Yep, they sure are.
And he starts screaming, his toe stuck in it. We're going like, oh my God. He manages to somehow pull it out. This is what did it for me, people. As soon as Bobby took off his shoe, and he's like, oh, my foot, my fucking foot. I watched a white sock turn red in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, it was brutal.
It was fucking crazy.
Yeah, that was a brutal.
I've never experienced so much empathy pain in my life.
Yeah,
and it was
bad.
All for a foot.
But also, could we have skipped that whole story?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I wanted to explain.
One more.
Sure.
Would you rather eat a tiny little piece of poop or pop a zit on someone else's ass with your mouth?
Zit or poop? Well, I got to be real with you. I'm a father of one. Sometimes you get a little poop on your finger. Sometimes you put that finger in your mouth. So, the zit I've never tried.
How does the finger get in your mouth?
I don't know.
I have so many questions.
But I know what it tastes like. I don't know what a zit tastes like, especially from someone's bum.
Yeah.
I'll go with the poop.
Wow. Quick, easy answer. I thought that one was going to be the one that threw a little curveball at you, but since you've clearly eaten your fair share of feces, it was a quick answer.
Yeah.
A surprisingly quick answer. Yeah. You're a disgusting human being. All right. That's all we've got for the Would You Rathers. We do have a review coming up. We are reviewing the Trinidad Espiritu.
Ooh, Espiritu.
Espiritu.
Oh, that's religious. What is up with these cigar manufacturers from south of the Mexican border putting a little bit of religion on every cigar?
I don't think this one is meant to be religious at all.
Espiritu, doesn't that mean spirit?
Yeah, but spirits don't necessarily mean religious.
Ooh, that's a deep answer.
Yep. But we'll get into why the cigar was created and everything about it, the details, and the wonderful breakdown coming up. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back at you guys in just a minute. Hang tight. We are back, and we do have a review.
Ooh, yeah.
We are reviewing the Trinidad Espiritu. Now, here's the thing.
Oh, Lord Jesus, thank you again for reminding us to follow in your footsteps.
Also not religious cigar, but thank you for trying. This is a brand we've never reviewed before because Trinidad is a traditional Cuban cigar brand, one of which was also made for Castro in addition to Cohiba. So anything that would be considered like a treasure from Trinidad, sounds weird when I say it like that, would be a Cuban type cigar. They've had some stuff that they've, from their Nicaragua. I guess that's where everything is based now, technically.
Yeah.
Hasn't had much fanfare around it. But this cigar was actually released here in 2019. It's one that was kind of a hype cigar for IPCPR. It actually, weirdly enough, if you look at the box of the Espiritu cigar, it's very wild with color. It's very, bright colors. It's very artistic. So it was one that really stood out. And
Tribal.
I think a lot of people attach to just the aesthetic, of the box and what they're coming out with. The label's the same way, right? Not dissimilar. So there was a little bit of hype around this cigar when it came out at IPCPR. It was one that I was particularly curious about. And of course, the cigar was actually made kind of an homage to the 60s and 70s through that cigar producing era that is supposed to be, at least from a Cuban perspective, like this is like the best of the best, right? Like this is reminiscing on old, wonderful cigar making time. So it's just kind of an homage to that. But the cigar itself is one that I wanted to try because I'd really never been a fan of Trinidad cigars in the past. So I was like, I wonder what this one could bring to the table. So it is produced at the AJ factory. And what do I always say about the AJ factory? They produce better cigars for other people than they do themselves. I was hoping that would be the case in this one. So I guess before we actually get into the breakdown of the cigar itself, Chris, can you let everybody know how we review these bad boys?
Please, yes. And could you give me a nice kind of low hum, almost hymn-like hum? Yeah. Each cigar review starts with a total of 60 possible sins and is broken down into 3 main categories. 10 points for the Father, 20 points for the Son, 30 points for the Holy Spirit. We then deduct points for less than optimal Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, and see if the cigar is worth the sin for a possible 1% bonus or deduction. Finally, we average out our individual sins, giving you guys our total cigar rating out of 60. Amen.
Amen. Wow, that was wonderful. What's this thing comprised of? You know what? I'll tell you. It's a Nicaraguan Puro. I love Nicaraguan Puros because it's so goddamn easy. Excuse my sinful language. So easy to just break them down. Nicaraguan Puro. What toll did we smoke this in? I don't even remember.
Bellicoso, 6 1/8 by a 52.
God, they have some really cool vitolas for this cigar.
They're
do. Almost all the same, but they're not. It's really strange.
Yeah. Oh.
It's like they're so close to another. It's not like this, this one's not like a Churchill, and this one's distinctly different being a traditional Robusto. It's like all the sizes are kind of like, it's like the same amount of square footage space they each take up.
They
Just
do.
different vitola sizes. It's very strange. What's the price point on this bad boy?
It comes at an average price point, brother, of $10.50. That's the donation you can start with at your local church.
Yeah, that's true. Better put it in the bucket.
They say we should trust God with our finances.
That's true. I've heard that before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus Financial.
It's a bank institution. In God we trust.
Yeah, that's true. Amen. What do you think about the construction on this cigar?
Brother, all I can say is that it's a pretty dense cigar, caramel-like color, minimal veins. It's actually a pretty smooth cigar, but I think the one most notable thing, which you've already mentioned when it comes to this, is how beautiful the label is.
Yes, fucking amazing.
And on this kind of dark caramely wrapper, dude, that pop of color is like, it stands out on the shelf for sure.
Yeah, the color of the cigar itself is more of like, it's weird. It's kind of a Colorado, but I don't know. It's like, to me, it's right around that Colorado color.
Yeah.
It has a little bit of that reddish hue to it, but it like almost errs more on the side of like a lighter Maduro. It's kind of strange when you look at it. It's a beautiful color and not one that is overly traditional, I guess you'd say, but you're right. In terms of the band and the label on the cigar itself, it pops. I love the use of all the colors in the band. It is really cool.
And with that Nicaraguan wrapper, it's like you can just feel it. It's just like a thick ass wrapper too.
Thick ass wrapper. Like thick ass cheeks on that
firm cigar. Hold strong.
Yeah, it does. And again, kind of a cool vitola, which I guess would be more towards a Toro. Of course, it's a Bellicoso because of the way that the head of the cigar is. But it is kind of a traditional Toro size, all in all, at a 6 1/4 by 52.
And let me just say this: I have had it in every vitola at this point, and
I have too.
They even get it down to the Robustos, a little bit longer Robusto. But you're right; it's just they know that happy median. I think.
Yeah, it's kind of strange, like in terms of the vitolas that they produced for this. They're just not. They're not all drastically different from one another.
They're not, but what a beautiful cigar.
I thought the cigar was beautifully made. If you actually take a look at it aesthetically, it reminds me of a Plasencia cigar in terms of the construction and the material used. It's very smooth. It's very symmetrical. There's not a lot of bumps, humps, and whatever lumps.
Yeah.
I think it's, appearance-wise, very, very, very beautifully made. What did you think about the burn overall on this particular cigar?
Here's the thing I'll say. The first one I had, I want to do a shout out to BG Cigar Lounge in West Carrollton, Ohio. This is actually where I had my first Trinidad.
Right.
And I had it in this Bellicoso. And then I've had it 5 times since.
Yeah.
5 or 6 times.
So, spoiler alert.
But this is what I'll say. I've never had a bad burn experience with this cigar. Very thick ash, burns pretty damn evenly. Now, typically, at least on this Bellicoso, maybe it's the way I cut it because I V-cutted a Bellicoso cap, which comes more to like a point like a pencil.
Right. I've done that before. I actually have preference for that, and people think it's weird because they're always like, well, you should just be straight cutting that. I was like, I can do what I want. It's my cigar.
Do what I want. It's in my mouth.
Yeah. So fuck you.
But
who are you even though, really?
Yeah. Like, what, you straight cut like a bunch of the old guys?
Right. Well, you can be an old guy. You gonna be on bro. Kicking it with all the other dinosaurs.
Damn, yeah, but like a nice 2-3 puffer produces actually pretty damn good smoke. And let me just say this: did it pass the whole test?
Yeah, I would assume so.
Yes,
of course.
I mean, you can't deny it. It's the Espiritu. You have to have the spirit.
Has the spirit in it.
You gotta have the faith in the spirit.
I agree. I thought the burn was awesome. Nice even burn on the cigar all the way through. Just a wonderful amount of consistency. The only thing, and you said it earlier, there's a density to this cigar. And dense cigars don't necessarily always create concern for me, but sometimes I always think, okay, the denser the cigar, the more of the innards that are there could potentially produce a tight draw, which this one did, slightly. So that's the only criticism I have of this cigar, is that there is a ton of tobacco in it. And the good news is that even though it was a slight tight draw, I was able to kind of loosen it up a little bit. That made it a little bit better. But even with the tight draw, it was producing a really good heavy amount of smoke. So that's the thing that annoys me the most. If it's a tight draw and there's no good smoke production, I really get just kind of shitty about the whole experience. But this one, even with the tight draw, was still burning wonderfully and still producing a lot of smoke. It just took a little bit more effort to get it there.
You know what I just realized? I think cutting the cap on a Bellicoso with a V-cut kind of makes it look like the scorpion tail vaginas on a dog.
Yeah, it does.
Like
really.
A female dog, you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're talking about.
It's like having a dog vagina.
Yeah, dogs' vaginas are not recessed, really, are they?
No, they're like scorpion tails with a slit in them.
Yeah, it's really strange. I don't look at my dog's vagina a lot.
But how do we know what it looks like?
But I think it's the ones where the hair's on them and it comes to a point is real weird. That looks more like the scorpion tail. That'd be a hairy dog, though. Very strange.
Don't deny you haven't seen your cat's butthole or its vagina.
Right. Cats wake up, put their buttholes in your face.
That's
how
your
they
dogs.
Wake up in the morning.
You know, y'all look at the tidbits of every animal you possess in your household.
I will be honest with you. When I see a dog with big balls, I call it out.
You have
look
to.
At that. It's like this dog's wide stance walking is only because he's trying to fit his balls up in there.
Yeah. He's waddling like a fucking thing on a grandfather clock, just bouncing between his legs.
That's crazy. Fucking fat balls, man. And the thing is, hey, it's 2019. If you're not breeding Gotta let them go, man.
Gotta let
They're
'em
just
go.
They get in the way. They get caught in things. There may be an incident where your dog goes to snuggle and they bounce off your forehead. Just don't put yourself in that position.
Listen, your dog, it's just real sad seeing a male dog go to lay down and it's just
Squish
like,
his
and it
balls.
like squishes his ball, goes,
Yeah,
it's like, what?
right.
What's wrong? And then you
Right.
realize he sat on his balls.
Right. Take him back, cut the sack.
Yeah,
That's
right.
my motto.
That's the motto.
What did you think in terms of the flavor on this old Espiritu?
Listen, perfect construction, perfect burn. It was a little tight with the V-cut. I actually did mention I did cut a little deeper in the V-cut just to get a little bit more drawl out.
Sure.
Just keep that in mind, people. Anyways, so far so good, right?
So far, so good.
How does the Espiritu make me feel? Does it give me the faith needed to appreciate and love this beloved blend? Spicy, sweet and creamy, kind of woody. I will say this. This fucker packs a lot of flavors.
Watch your language in the fucking Lord's. He's in our presence.
I know, but I'm sure Jesus Lord himself is also a cusser.
Sure.
He has to be.
Even though
He
they called
invented the English language.
except that they call it the cursor.
That's true, but not sinful word, which means when you say it, you're not going to get deducted points. For
Really,
going
honestly, throw up a few Hail Marys and you're good.
yeah. Oh, Lord Jesus. Blessed out thou, Lord. But dude, what a crazy rush of flavors up front with this cigar. It does mellow out to like creamy, woody, kind of bitter notes. But dude, there's something about this blend. It just works so well together. And you get such a dynamic of different like taste buds getting pounded. It was fucking great.
I thought this cigar was unlike a lot of cigars I've had as of recent, which I love stuff that really stands out. I don't like smoking cigars that remind me of another cigar, which I've done before. I go, this kind of reminds me of this cigar, and this flavor profile kind of reminds me of this thing that used to exist.
Yeah.
I like stuff that really kind of challenges the palate that's much different in terms of like I can't draw upon an experience of something else where I go, it tasted like that.
Sure, yeah.
This is one of those cigars. I didn't get really anything in terms of spice, personally, even though it's a Nicaraguan Puro. What I loved about this cigar is it boasts really bright flavors, and that's what I like the most about it.
Yeah.
Very bright, very kind of wild, kind of tangy flavors. It's very aromatic. This cigar is insanely aromatic. One of those cigars that if you kind of keep it just burning and toasting a little bit, and you're just in the way, if you're in the path of the smoke that is coming off the end of the cigar and it hits your nostrils, it's going to cause you to sneeze a little bit. Very aromatic. I love the balance of the cigar overall, and quite honestly, my favorite part about this cigar is smoking it retrohale style.
Ooh.
Because it changes up the profile so much. There's this really nice kind of campfire woodiness that you get from the cigar and the retrohale, and it just kind of blends in with some of the sweet tanginess of the cigar that you get when you're not. So I think just the myriad of flavors that you get while you're smoking the cigar it's unlike anything that I've really had. And quite honestly, not being someone who is either for or against the Trinidad brand overall, this kind of makes me interested in some of the stuff that they may be doing going forward, because this is a better experience I've had in terms of this cigar and this brand, and also in comparison to a lot of other brands I've had recently. I really enjoy the differences that this cigar brings forward, and I really enjoy the brightness of the cigar overall, and that balance is freaking fantastic. I thought this cigar was absolutely amazing in terms of flavor.
Amen.
Also one of which I've smoked in every Vitola and continue smoking it.
I do too.
It's a great cigar that if, quite honestly, you know, walking into the humidor, and this is real practical experience, walking into the humidor, I kind of go, well, if there's nothing else that I'm really wanting to grab, I'll kind of make my rounds. If there's nothing else that really pops out, I kind of always gravitate, at least recently, I've been gravitating towards this Trinidad Espiritu. It's the cigar I kind of keep coming back to if I'm not really sure what else I want to smoke, or if I'm not really sure what mood I'm in. I just kind of default to this cigar. That'll go away eventually. But as of recent, in the recent month, this is one that I'll kind of continually pick up when I'm just not sure what else I want to smoke. So I think the flavors of the cigar overall are absolutely fantastic.
Oh, dude, it's so good.
So good. So the price point is at that $10, $10.50 range for this particular Vitola. So what did you think about the cigar in terms of value?
I love the cigar dearly. Okay.
It's weird that you say it like that.
Okay. But I will say this. It is a 1050 cigar. In some places, it's around 11.
Mm-hmm.
I think the cigar is appropriately priced just based on not only the cigar, the brand itself, how well it burns, but even that fucking great-ass fucking flavor. I think 1050 is a pretty on-point price for me.
Yeah, I think given the Vitola, right, this is a 6 1/4 by 52. It's a lot of tobacco.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of tobacco, and with the flavors being as good as they are, and again, AJ Fernandez blending this cigar arguably better than anything they bring out under their own brand, I think it's worth every penny of the $10, $10.50, $11, that range that you're going to pay for it. But I think that's exactly where it should be.
I agree.
I think it's valued perfectly in terms of the price paid for the experience that you get.
Absolutely. Amen.
I was flirting a little bit with giving it a bonus, and had it been probably in the $9 range, I would have.
I would have for sure.
I think it would have been more than worth it, especially, again, because of the amount of tobacco you get. The smoking experience will probably take you, an hour 45? If you're a really, really fast smoker like me, which sometimes gets annoying because the habit becomes expensive, I smoke cigars very quickly. This would probably be an hour 30 for me, but I think for most people, maybe an hour 45. You probably push 2 hours on this cigar, too.
And baby it for the 2-hour mark. If you baby it, you're going to get even some more of that creaminess out of it when it's running a little bit cool anyway.
Right. Yeah.
It's just,
for sure.
It literally, there's literally like flavor points in this cigar that literally hits almost every taste bud. It's crazy.
I think that's probably one of the things that I like the most, too, and we always talk about this. Where is this cigar appropriate? Who should be smoking it? Is it too challenging for someone who's a novice to get their hands on and really enjoy it? I think this cigar can be literally enjoyed by a full spectrum of cigar smokers. I think if you're somebody who has been smoking for a long time, you're going to enjoy the subtle changes of flavors, but the balance that's created overall. And even if you're someone new, there's no harshness to this cigar from beginning to end. I think you could really enjoy it. Now, you may not be able to taste some of the things that we're tasting or be able to call out the specifics, but it is so enjoyable, and it is very it is more of a medium-bodied cigar. It does kind of hit it right down the fairway. There's nothing too challenging about it at all to say that even if you are a guy or a gal who doesn't smoke very often, that if you smoke this, I think you'd quite enjoy it.
And when you put it in your mouth, it's like everybody's going to be like, what is that crazy, colorful thing in your mouth? And it's like, bro, I'm on a fucking safari right now, and you need to hop on board this bus.
Yeah, amen.
It's like a South American tour, man.
It is, kind of.
You know?
Yeah, all the bright,
taking you
wonderful
all around.
colors. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's fucking great.
I think it's great. So what did you give this cigar in terms of an overall score?
Perfect construction. Perfect burn score. A solid 26 out of 30, which is in the very good range.
Sure.
A flavor. Price. Perfectly. No bonus or deduction. I gave this Trinidad Espiritu a 93.3%.
Oh, hallelujah. Mine, perfect construction score. Not a perfect burn score. -1 point deduction for the tight draw. But I gave it a 27 out of 30 on the flavor because I so much enjoyed the flavor of the cigar. I thought it was outstanding categorically. That brings me to a 93.3% on the cigar, rounded down to a 93. That gives us a rounded score of a 93 for the Trinidad Espiritu.
Spiritu Santi. Or Santu.
Spiritu Santu.
Yeah.
I feel like this is more in line with not a Jesus regimen, but probably something more leaning towards voodoo.
Yeah. But afterwards, I felt really exercised.
Yeah, I did too.
You know?
Yeah.
Felt good.
Exercise.
I was cleansed.
The demons.
I just felt cleansed.
Yeah, I feel good. This is a cigar that I think anyone should get their hands on. If you haven't tried it, it's definitely worth trying. If you're one of those people that's hoity-toity around your specific brand and I only smoke this, just fucking grab it. Stop being a fucking cunt whistle and grab this cigar and you'll enjoy it.
As soon as I was done smoking it, the sky seemed brighter.
Mm-hmm.
Colors.
It does. It kind of brightens everything up.
Colors seemed more fuller and energetic.
Tastes seem brighter.
People's faces seemed like they were smiling more.
The world is simply less dull when you're smoking this cigar.
It really is.
Yeah, I really quite enjoy it.
It shows you the beauty of everything else around you when you smoke it. You gotta smoke it.
Yep. Get your hands on one. I think you'll quite enjoy it.
It'll change your life.
What a great, great cigar. What a great review, too.
Yeah.
You know, we've been coming in hot with a lot of high 90s scores here recently.
Fuck it.
But the reality is it feels weird to me, and it feels odd because seems to always be something kind of interlaced into our weekly smoking experiences where I go, that's just fucking dog shit.
I know.
That thing right there is garbage.
But we don't want to. But
the last 3 that we smoked in a row have all 3 been wonderful fucking cigars. They have been incredible.
The only time you'll see a bad review on this show is when we're expecting it to be good and it just ends up not being. Because we want you guys to try these good cigars along with us.
Right, of course.
We don't want to say like, yeah, buy this dog shit cigar that we reviewed.
Intentionally bought this piece of garbage
so
we
about
could review this piece of garbage.
Now, maybe you want to know about the shit garbage, and you can get that on hotticketweekly.com.
Yeah, we'll tell you. We break them down.
But
news,
on this
reviews,
show,
and more.
But on this show, it's all about the best.
We're trying to highlight the best. Sometimes the best isn't great, but we always try to highlight the best on this show and really bring things forward that we think that the collective audience would enjoy. And the Trinidad Espiritu hits all marks.
Yes, it does.
For sure. So didn't release a review this week because we did have a fun packed-filled episode of what would be considered 3 reviews in one. Yeah. So if you haven't listened to it yet, enjoy episode 124, which was our second edition boutique week. What a wonderful, wonderful episode that was, with 3 very incredible cigars. So you can get the scores online and you can hear the whole podcast on our website, www.hotticketweekly.com. And, of course, you can hear the podcast pretty fucking much everywhere else. I always like when people hit me up and DMs and they go, how can I find your podcast? Well, there's a link in the bio, dum-dum. By the way, there's this thing called fucking Google that if you fucking type in the Hot Ticket Podcast, it will literally bring up a ton of fucking clickable links to where you can listen to the podcast. So stop being a functional fucking idiot. Click any fucking link that says Hot Ticket Podcast, and by God, you can hit the fucking play button, and you can listen to it almost immediately.
And if you use accessibility options because you're legally blind or deaf, Cory apologizes.
Yeah, for you, I'm sorry. I take everything back. But still, don't be a dum-dum. It's easy to find.
But then blame that on Instagram because that's on them to make sure that it's accessibility accessible.
Agreed. I think that's all we got for this week.
Yeah.
Good episode.
Yeah.
Another good episode in the bag. Probably going to keep bringing back some of I'll just interlace a little bit of the Would You Rathers in.
Yeah.
Going forward because they're always fun for me when I'm asking you. So he's always come with the most ridiculous answers and reasons for things. Your logic system is just completely fucked up. But that will conclude episode 125.
Oh,
Done for this week.
A quarter way through the hundreds.
Yeah, it's kind of weird to think about. 125 is, never thought we'd be here. But I'm glad we are. So, that will conclude this episode. Thanks, everyone, for listening. We'll be back at you next week for episode 126. See ya.